Everyone, welcome back to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage on this Sunday, August 25th, 2024. It's hard to believe we're only 4 months away from Christmas, and it is actually very hot outside. These are what they call the dog days of summer, and in today's weather forecast, we're going to be breaking down the extreme heat wave across the middle of the country, the ring of fire pattern that will be bringing all of our severe weather and everything that you need to know over the next week or two in today's weather forecast. So make sure to subscribe to the channel down below for the latest weather information right at your fingertips. You get all of my videos, live streams, and everything like that. Make sure to turn on all post notifications for those. Also, make sure to press the like button, the thumbs up button down below. It helps to get this video discoverable on YouTube. Also, make any comments, questions, concerns down below, and I'll get to those after the video. So let's dive into the forecast, the very hot forecast here for today. And you can see weather alerts, the heat headlines across the middle of the country. In the orange, those are heat advisories. In the maroon reds, into the National Weather Service coverage area of Chicago, Lincoln, Illinois, and Northwest Indiana, those areas are in an excessive heat watch as we're gearing up for some very strong heating up there. And then in the magenta shade of color here from Twin Cities down toward the Davenport Quad Cities region, and also Prairie du Chien, La Crosse. Back here toward Omaha, we have that excessive heat warning. So here's the culprit. We have a big ridge of high pressure in the maroon shade of color. We told you a few days ago this was going to start to move east and expand and intensify in coverage toward the Mississippi River, and it has done so late this weekend. And here are your high temperatures expected this afternoon, into the 90s across the Midwest, areas that just a couple of days ago were in the 60s and 70s for highs. We have definitely turned the page. We're into the 80s and 90s this afternoon out there. Into the plains, the central plains, like Kansas in particular, we're well into the triple digits for highs this afternoon. And here are your heat indexes. This is what the atmosphere feels like as you walk outdoors with that moisture out there, that corn sweat. You can see 110 in the Des Moines area, 112 in Omaha, and 109, very yucky over there, into Kansas City this afternoon. And a lot of the heat really built up to some severe weather a few days ago. Thankfully, yesterday was one of more quiet days of severe weather on Saturday, August 24th, but that's all going to change starting today. We have another slight risk of severe weather in a couple of areas. The first area here has a 2 out of 5 slight risk from northwestern and western Minnesota into the eastern Dakotas, and then another area back here in an unusual area as well into southwestern Wyoming, eastern Utah, western Colorado, and then down into parts of Arizona and New Mexico. Also a sneaky marginal risk near Detroit and into the Akron area in Ohio as well. There is a tornado risk today. We have a 2% chance of a tornado today in the Grand Forks region, down into Aberdeen, getting very close to Sioux Falls, so be watching out for some rotating storms later on today as well. So let's walk you through the timing. This afternoon, we're going to see more isolated storm coverage here as we have more storms trying to develop and billow up over the Rockies and into the northern plains. But by the evening, we're going to start to see more of that scattered coverage. And again, just because we see a lot of thunderstorms on here doesn't mean every single community will be affected by this. This will be isolated. This will be widely scattered as we go into the afternoon and the evening. And then we'll start to dwindle the coverage and intensity of the storms into early Monday morning as the atmosphere cools and stabilizes as we go into the after midnight hours. Going into the new week here, the new work week and the last full week of August, this is Monday, August 26th through Friday, August 30th. It's going to be very hot out here across the Great Lakes region into the Ohio Valley and Midwest. We're talking temperatures 15, 20 degrees above normal. Different story out west though. The Pacific Northwest seeing temperatures a good 10 to 15 degrees below normal out there for the work week. So here is that big ridge of high pressure. It's going to only expand and intensify as we go into early work week here on Monday and into Tuesday. And this is going to provide our temperatures already Monday morning starting off in the mid-70s out here in places like Chicago and Milwaukee and the Twin Cities and Minneapolis, St. Paul, down here into Kansas City. It's going to be a very mild start to the day, and that will be a higher springboard of which to start because Monday afternoon, our temperatures will skyrocket into the 90s and triple digits. We're talking air temperatures, folks, in Omaha of 106, 99 there in Des Moines, 95 on the lakefront in Chicago, and 96 in St. Louis Monday. Monday afternoon. You throw the moisture in there with the corn sweat. We know this is the corn capital of the United States here in the Midwest, and you can see 116 is our feel like, our heat index in Des Moines, 103 in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, 115 in Rochester, Minnesota, 110 in Omaha. So it's going to be a hot one out there. Make sure to stay hydrated and have frequent breaks in an air-conditioned building. If that's not enough, as we go into Tuesday morning, we're going to have another start in the mid-70s out here, maybe even starting near 80 in Des Moines at 79 degrees Tuesday morning. And then we're up to 91 in Des Moines Tuesday afternoon, 98 on the lakefront in Chicago Tuesday afternoon, 95 on the lakefront in Milwaukee, 95 over here into Detroit as well. And those heat indexes, those feel-like temperatures, again, with the corn sweat, you can see could be approaching 120 degrees of Fahrenheit in a lot of these areas. Southern Wisconsin, north central Illinois, into the southwestern lower Michigan. Get ready. This could be the hottest day that we have seen in a couple of summers over here. A very dangerous day of heat. You can see the cold front. You can find it back here to the upper Midwest. The end of the heat is in sight, and that will be later on in the week. We'll talk about that here momentarily. Now, with all this heat building up, we have a lot of storm energy, what we call convective available potential energy. The higher the value, the higher the chance for severe weather and thunderstorms. And you can see these blacks and grays up here. That's 6,000 joules per kilogram of instability, folks. Basically off the charts, or on the upper echelon of the chart here. And that's why the Storm Prediction Center confident on day 2 for tomorrow in a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk of severe weather from the Minneapolis Twin Cities region back there into South Dakota. And that's where we could be seeing some severe weather. Also, another sneaky area of severe weather over here into places like Massachusetts and Connecticut and Rhode Island. Could be seeing some bigger storms into Boston, into the Hartford area, and even the eastern side of Long Island as we go into Monday as well. But the main show will be out here into eastern South Dakota, into central southern Minnesota. Could be seeing those hurricane force wind gusts, 75 miles per hour or greater in those hatch shaded areas. Also, hail that could be of 2, 3, even 3.5 inches in diameter cannot be ruled out here from Minnesota back into eastern South Dakota. And we also have a formidable tornado risk. So Minneapolis, St. Paul, back towards Sioux Falls. Sioux Falls, you have a 5% chance of a tornado within 25 miles of your zone as we go into Monday. So going through the day, most of the day Monday will be dry, okay? We're looking at mainly late in the day, late afternoon, early evening, and that's when we're going to see a couple of those what we call mesoscale convective systems, or MCSs, moving across the Midwest. These are notorious for producing wind damage that could be even hurricane force of 75 miles an hour or greater, big hail and tornadoes here, especially on the initial development of these storms before they move upscale and develop into what we have these big lines up here, okay? And then as we go into Tuesday, we're going to have another day of, again, 6,000 joules per kilogram of instability. We showed you those feel-like temperatures approaching 115, 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Yes, it's going to be the fuel for those storms. And right now, the Storm Prediction Center here, more conservative on a marginal slight risk day for Tuesday. I think Tuesday could actually be a big day for severe weather if all the details come together just right. I think the slight risk could be shifting a little bit further west and southwest, maybe even an upgrade to an enhanced as we get closer. You can see during the day, again on Tuesday, we're going to be heating up the surface. Things are going to be very, very hot and humid as we go into Tuesday, and then we could have another one of those big mesoscale convective systems, those MCSs, and this could affect areas like Madison, Wisconsin, and the Quad Cities region, Rockford, Chicago, Milwaukee, and maybe even over here towards Gary, Indiana. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as we go into Tuesday. The actual placement and evolution of Tuesday's severe weather threat is unknown still, but as we go into the middle of the week, here is what is known. Is a very strong cold front is going to be coming in from the Pacific Northwest with a new low pressure system, and this is going to sweep across the middle of the country, ushering in a nice, cool, and refreshing, less humid Canadian air mass into the United States to end the month of August. So any of those Friday night football games out there that you have in the Midwest should go off without a hitch, because we're going to be seeing some wonderful weather by the end of the week. But here's the rainfall amounts that we're going to be seeing over the next work week here, Monday, August 26th through Friday, August 30th here. we could be seeing areas of 1 to 2, even 3 inches of rain, depending on how many rounds of storms move through. Looks like the Badger State of Wisconsin is in line to see most of the rain as we go through the work week. And then a look out west, very dry into places like Washington State, Oregon, Idaho, California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona. A lot of us out here will be dry. And then also across the southeast as well, pretty dry through the week ahead. Now going into next weekend, this is Labor Day weekend, folks. Saturday, August 31st, and turning the page into Sunday, September 1st. We're going to be cooling off with the presence of that cold front, ushering in that nice, refreshing, less humid air mass from Canada. But then on the other side of the country in the Pacific Northwest, Western Canada that was cool this week will turn warm as we go into Labor Day weekend. So you can see that as we go into Monday, Labor Day as well. We're really starting to heat up in Alberta, Saskatchewan, and even Manitoba, areas that could be 25 degrees above normal in the southern Canadian prairies for Labor Day, and a little bit cooler off to the east as well. So precipitation prospects through Labor Day weekend with that cold front coming in, it's going to be producing drier air, less humid air. So there's not going to be a lot of moisture to squeeze out. There will be some rain over here into the northeast, down into the mid-Atlantic, and maybe along the Appalachians. We'll be keeping an eye on that on Saturday. Sunday, some moisture in the Carolinas, some moisture near the Gulf Coast and down toward New Mexico. Hey, we're not complaining. We need the rainfall down there in New Mexico and West Texas. We'll take every bit that we can. And then as we go into Labor Day Monday itself, it looks like most of the contiguous United States and southern Canada will be pretty dry. It looks like we may need some umbrellas over here into the Pacific Northwest, maybe some umbrellas in South Texas and especially Florida. But other than that, a nice Labor Day to go around with precipitation. So here's the rainfall amounts between Saturday, August 31st and Labor Day Monday, September 2nd. The heaviest of the rains will be again the northeast, the mid-Atlantic coast, down into southern Florida like Miami, Fort Lauderdale. Those areas could see an inch or two of rain on that weekend, and then down here toward coastal Texas and New Mexico. But again, hey, we're not complaining. We need the rainfall down here. We have significant drought. So thank you all for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. We'll do a tropical weather update in the next video tomorrow. Make sure to subscribe to the channel down below for the latest videos, live streams here right at your fingertips. Like the video by giving it a thumbs up down below. Leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. We'll get to those later on today, and I hope everyone has a wonderful and cool rest of their weekend out there.